big doings in DFW this coming weekend as New Japan Pro Wrestling returns to the Lone Star State, the first time since the opening of the G1 Climax in 2019. We were lucky enough to be up there to see that incredible event. And so they are bringing Autumn Attack September 25th, 26th. It will be at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland. You know that place very well. That's where AEW usually runs when they come to the DFW. It's a great arena. And one of the stars of New Japan Pro Wrestling that will be there joins me now on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. It is Juice Robinson, former two-time IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, also a former Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. Juice, how are you, man?
Hey, man, pretty good intro right there. I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, I have to ask you this because, I've been lucky enough to meet you before. It was a couple of years ago at the G1, and then another time you were working with Ring of Honor at the time, and got to talk with you briefly. One of the things I admire about you is, a lot of wrestlers, they depend on social media to get themselves over. You have got such a following, but you have no social media. So, like, when I do an intro, usually I say follow me on Twitter or Instagram but you don't have that. Or at least you don't have one that you publicize. I mean, give me, what's the inspiration for that?
Oh, wow. I mean, we could talk for 30 minutes on this, but, when I fell in love with pro wrestling, not one wrestler had a Twitter, and it didn't hurt my feelings at all. I sat in wonderment. What was Jeff Hardy doing? What was Stone Cold Steve Austin doing? These people are, they're like the superstars. I was in awe. The mystique. I love that. So it's like, nobody needs to know what I'm doing, for one. I'm not doing anything wrong, but trust me, I'm boring.
Right.
And, two, I just feel like there's a lot of negativity on there. And, I don't want to hear it. I'm a wrestler. That's my job. That's what I feel like I'm really good at, and I love it. If you don't like it, move on. Change the channel. I don't need a platform to where everybody can just sling hate at me because, I have a lot of friends in this business that get it every day. And don't play that game. You know what I mean? If you ain't got nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. I don't need to hear it. So
right.
There you go.
Mom was right all along about that. I couldn't agree more. I mean, we use it with the radio station. We promote, Longhorn events and some of the different sporting events that we do. And of course, me with, my travels and such. But, there are ways to use it, and there are ways to use it. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that don't know how to use it in those ways.
Right,
so I take my hat off to you. Believe me, if I wasn't in radio, I wouldn't have it. So I get you. Something I love when you come on the screen, you have such a unique and, dare I say, flamboyant look. It gives me the vibe of George Clinton in Parliament Funkadelic. It gives me that kind of vibe. What is that? What is the inspiration? Does it change from, like event to event, or, just mood, or give me kind of the how you come up with that look?
Well, I'll tell you what. We got enough guys walking to the ring, being tough, showing everybody how tough they are and how serious they take it. I take it seriously. I've dedicated my entire life to this. And I also want people to know that I love what I do and I'm having a good time. You know what I mean? The costumes, those are the people that I fell in love with when I was a kid. Like Macho Man Randy Savage and Shawn Michaels. I love that. Why not wear a funny costume? I mean, you know what I mean? It's a fashion statement. It's a look at me. It's a what's he going to wear next? I had fun with it. I don't want to be another guy, just a guy in black boots and black trunks. We got enough of them.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Anybody that will inject more fun into wrestling, I am all for that. I have always said,
I've got more hate than I have praise for some of the stuff I wear. So that's only going to, add fuel to the fire.
Well,
because I'm the kind of guy, if you say, hey, why are you doing that? You're not taking it seriously. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Right. Look, I love pro wrestling. I've loved it for 4 decades. From the days of, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Ted DiBiase as the Rat Pack in Mid-South Wrestling. I've loved it.
You think,
but
you
it's
think,
not. It's not brain
Superstar
surgery.
Billy Graham didn't take wrestling seriously. You know what I'm saying? Somebody walk up to that guy.
Yeah.
One
Talk
of my
about
favorite
flamboyant.
wrestlers in Japan is Satoshi Kojima, and maybe he doesn't come off as very flamboyant on the inside of the ring, although he is. On the outside of the ring, he's so flamboyant, but man, he's like jacked and so strong and cool. I just think it's great to just show all of your personality. You know.
You've been with
At
New
once.
Japan for several years now. Tell me, give me the one or two like legendary Japanese legends, icons that you have gotten to work with, where you almost have to take a step back and say, "Oh my God, I'm in the ring," or I'm working with blank.
Oh yeah, well, that was Liger. That's got to be Liger. You know, the first day I woke up in the dojo, 5 years ago, whatever it was, September 5th or September 3rd, 2015. That was my first match in New Japan. Well, the day before that, when I woke up in the New Japan dojo, and Liger was just, tooting around the kitchen, making breakfast and doing his laundry, and he had his little Liger costume hanging on the patio, air drying. That was pretty like, whoa, where am I? I'm in a Japanese dojo. Oh my goodness. And Tanahashi never ceases, sometimes I'm like, Jesus, I'm about to get the hot touch from Tanahashi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, it's Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima. I mean, they're great. They're just great. Regardless of what country, regardless of what organization, they're just flat out very, very, very good at what I do, and what we do as pro wrestlers. Every once in a while, I shake myself awake.
Yeah, I get you. I marvel at some of the stuff that those guys do, especially those that have been around for a minute or two, like a Kojima, like you mentioned, Jushin Thunder Liger. You mentioned Hiroshi Tanahashi, and as I mentioned a couple years ago, you're all in Dallas for the G1, and I remember I was there with a Texas wrestling legend named Cowboy Johnny Mantell. And we were doing all the press stuff. And I remember Johnny had followed Tanahashi out to the hall and was talking to him, because Johnny had done some spells in New Japan. And he compared Tanahashi to Kerry Von Erich. Oh. And I looked, I'm going, I've never paired that before, but now it makes total sense because of the hair and the build and the charisma and everything. Yeah, he's the Japanese version of Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah, let me tell you a little something about Tanahashi. Okay, so the girls in Japan, they're big on these sports towels, and they'll throw the towel at Tanahashi, and he'll wipe his sweat off, off of his muscles, off of his glistening pecs, and then he'll throw it back to the Japanese lady or girl, and they like fall down screaming. They're so excited that it like makes them melt. So then naturally, as his little tag partner, what am I going to do? Because it's not going to have the same effect. So of course, I have to do a little bit of a joke, and I wipe my butt cheeks, my armpit or something, and then make it more of a funny thing. But yeah, that guy has that effect, just like Kerry Von Erich. I'm sure. I mean, you hear about it all the time. The Von Erichs, the girls would scream that Beatle effect.
Oh my God! I mean? Yeah, those days.
You're like Rock and Roll Express. That's definitely Tanahashi.
So you're telling me you're not getting the girls to fawn over you like Tanahashi? That shocks me.
I don't know. I guess some of them, I guess I have my fair share of fawning, but I'd rather just be silly. He does the handsome. He can play the handsome stallion, and I'll play his silly sidekick. I love that dichotomy that we had.
That's awesome.
I do it every day. Anytime I'm with him, I step. What? No. I'm stepping back. You know what I mean? This is the guy, and we don't have him for too many more years.
Yeah, he's the ace.
I play off him. Absolutely. I know my role. I've been doing this a long time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's the ace after all. Talking with Juice Robinson. One of the things I am loving to see is your tag team success with David Finlay, Finn Juice. You're doing it in New Japan. You did it with Impact. Talk about that chemistry that you and David have that has made you such a good tag team.
Well, it all starts with he's very, very good in between the ropes. He's smooth, like a hot knife going through butter. He just picks everything up very naturally. So I liked him naturally because of that.
Right.
We're over there together. We became a tag team just randomly a lot, and then all of a sudden it's like we should be a tag team, and it's just kind of instantly we mesh very well, and it's been a lot of fun. We've now been doing it like 3 years. I mean, when somebody's as good as him, it's pretty easy to have him as a partner.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And like I said, yeah, you guys work well
in
the ring.
We meld well too, and I think he's maybe some of my strengths aren't necessarily his, and you know what, vice versa. I ain't never seen anybody run as fast, and he is quick. I'm 32 and I'm feeling it.
Right. I get you.
I think we go together pretty well.
You do, and you match up so well whether you're in the ring with God or the Good Brothers or any of the other great tag teams there in New Japan. It looks so good. I know New Japan Strong, which that's what we're going to talk about here in a second, coming to Garland. But you're starting to do the touring. You're going to be in front of fans. You've been in front of fans here in the last few weeks.
Thank goodness, the world is opening up.
I was going to say, tell me how much you missed wrestling in front of fans, because especially in Japan, it has been so locked down there. I mean, we saw it with the Olympics, and so now you're here and you're seeing all these fans. Just tell me how grateful you are for those fans.
America, specifically America. It's the last show that New Japan did with people was. We were in Atlanta, February of 2020, and now where are we now? September of 2021. So it's been well over a year. It's just great because that's what we do as performers. We need an audience. You don't want to do it in a silent room. That is not what this is. It's an energy exchange from performer to audience member, and it's a volley back and forth. We feed off, much like a rock and roll concert, you know what I mean? Much like anything, you need an audience. It's a very, very important part of the show, of the experience. So just to put it lightly, I am overwhelmingly ecstatic to have people back making noise. And I don't care what the noise is as long as it's noise.
Absolutely. I mean, and I remember that February 2020 show because I know that you guys were making a quick tour. I know you stopped in Miami because I had the Guerrillas of Destiny. I was in Miami for Super Bowl 54 covering it for the radio station, and I had the Guerrillas of Destiny come over to Radio Row and talk to some of my friends that are in sports radio, and I know they had a blast doing it. And then all of a sudden, it was everything's halted. And here we are, now 19 months later. So I get you. Let's talk about Autumn Attack. This event, as I mentioned, Saturday and Sunday, September 25th, 26th, at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland. Saturday night, the doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 7 p.m. Sunday night, doors open at 4 p.m. Bell time at 5 p.m. You're involved Saturday. You're in an 8-man tag. It's you, Leo Rush, Clark Connors, and TJP taking on 4 members of Bullet Club in Ishimori, El Phantasmo, Chris Bay, and Hikuleo. That's going to be a hell of a fight out there with the 4 guys from Bullet Club. And I know you and Hikuleo have had a little bit of an issue with each other here lately.
Yeah, what is it today? Thursday? Well, I believe this Saturday on New Japan Strong, on New Japan World, I have a tables match with Hikuleo. So obviously things are very, very hot between us right now. And trust me, they will be next week in Texas. So I'm looking to put him to bed. So I'll be pulling out all the stops in Texas for sure.
I can imagine. And I know they haven't announced anything for Sunday, but I got to imagine that rivalry may spill over into Sunday night because the way you guys have been going at it, I'm not sure it can be solved in a couple.
I've seen
nights.
The card looks a little bit sparse the second night, and if I know anything about an 8-man, we're not going to get to touch each other probably as much as I'm going to want to beat him up. So I'll be looking to try to get a match with him the next night.
Yeah,
and the less people, the better. I'll leave it there.
I get you. I totally get you. Let me ask you
this.
But
you know what they say, when in Rome and, when in Texas. So I don't know. When in Texas, Remember I said that, and you'll know why.
Okay. All right. We'll put a pin on that.
I might have a surprise for your listeners and wrestling fans, New Japan wrestling fans.
All right. I love it. Tickets are on sale. Go to Ticketmaster.com. Go to the Google. Just Google Curtis Colwell Center. You'll see the ticket site there. You can. These will also be New Japan Strong TV taping, so you'll be able to see these episodes on NJPW World, which you guys have done just an outstanding job with those shows. I saw the show at. You did it right under the torch at the LA Coliseum. So that was amazing.
Beautiful.
What was that like?
It was beautiful. I mean, it looked like it reminded me of WrestleMania 9. It was like outside. You could see the arches in the background, beautifully lit. It was really cool. Nice temperature too.
Oh, I imagine.
But everybody, please come out to these shows. It's going to be a great time. I mean, even if you're not necessarily a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, you might be a pro wrestling fan. You might have seen pro wrestling or heard about it. You might be curious. Please come on, give it a chance. Let's sell this. Let's sell it out. You know what I mean? And just for human beings in general, let's get out. Let's have some fun. Let's, go to a live show, a live performance, wrestling, music, everything. Get out there. Have some fun. We're humans. We deserve it.
Absolutely. New Japan Pro Wrestling does it as well as anybody. It is unlike anything else you will see in pro wrestling. I will tell you that from personal experience. It is so much fun. It is totally different from what you'll see in, say, AEW or Impact or WWE or whatever. It is its own style, and it will captivate you so much.
I'll say this. I've worked other places, and this one, this organization, New Japan Pro Wrestling, they give you the most bang for your buck. You're going to get all your pro wrestling you want. It's going to be physical. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. He is Juice Robinson. Catch him September 25th, 26th at the Curtis Colwell Center when New Japan Pro Wrestling presents Autumn Attack. Make sure you get your ticket soon. Juice, man, thanks so much for your time. I know you're in Nashville getting ready for some Impact taping, so have fun there. Looking forward to see you when you get to Texas.
Yes, next week. I will see you next week. Everybody come on out and see us. Let's have some great time, and let's do some awesome wrestling.